Hello, I'm Dave Nelson, the creator of River Cities. I've been living on the water for 19 years with my wife Renee on our boat, the Hiawatha Belle. People always comment on what a wonderful life we have on our boat. They tell us how they would love to live aboard and cruise the length of the Mississippi. Well, very few people ever realize that dream because it takes a big commitment in time, money, and skill. Our beautiful spot on the Mississippi is in downtown St. Paul, on the north end of the largest interconnected system of waterways in the world. More than 5,500 miles of navigable rivers and 1,100 miles of intercoastal waterways. When I first saw this map 12 years ago, I was inspired to build a boat to cruise these marvelous waters. After 3 years of planning with U.S. Coast Guard, shipbuilders, and designers, we have developed the concept of a floating condominium community called the Marquette. And we invite you to join our community of modern-day adventurers.
For most people in the United States, this is the extent of their river experience. A bridge over the river provides only a glimpse of the incredible world of water below. You're about to see the River Cities lifestyle and how it makes living on the water an easy and affordable adventure. At 600 feet long and 108 feet wide, the Marquette will have about 350 residents and 50 crew. The Marquette will cruise the northern rivers in the summer and the southern rivers and Gulf intracoastal waterways during the winter. Our goal is to enjoy the waterways during the most pleasant weather conditions. The Marquette might stop in a large city like Memphis for 3 days or a small town for a day, and sometimes we may find ourselves along a secluded riverbank for the night. Your home will have all the amenities of a luxurious waterfront condominium with an ever-changing view from your private balcony. Restaurants on the first deck of the bow will have seating indoors and out. Diners can choose from a sit-down meal, buffet, or the deli. Lounges up top will offer the best views while cruising and great places to gather with friends. The roof will be like a giant lawn for recreational activities from barbecuing to bocce ball. As we go astern, we'll find pools, hot tubs, saunas, and exercise equipment. 2 stern barges will have a large chipping and putting golf area. The back deck will house the runabouts, fishing boats, kayaks, and canoes. Residents can either rent these boats or keep their own boat aboard. And when we stop, hydraulically operated docks will lower for launching boats and for fishing. From the bow looking astern, you'll see the grand stairway and the long open-air atrium through the center of the vessel. Residents access their condominiums through the atrium. There will be plants, flowers, and benches along the way. 6 elevators in the atrium will make nearly all parts of the vessel easily accessible, even for those with limited mobility. All condominiums will have private decks that face the water. Below decks will have a library, a chapel, a grocery store, small theaters for screening movies, and activity rooms. There will be a spa and hair salon, and each owner will have a storage locker for things like suitcases, golf clubs, and bicycles. How will the Marquette operate? It's a cooperative arrangement in which people purchase a condominium and share the cruising expenses. The staff will run the business complex while safely moving the Marquette to places the community wants to visit. And after a pleasant day of cruising the waterways, you will have cars, buses, and scooters ready and waiting for your shore travel. The choice of activities will be up to you. River Cities' goal is affordable, live-aboard boating. The Marquette will not provide entertainment and meals like a full-service cruise ship. Each River Cities boat will operate as a homeowners association, and all onboard businesses, such as the restaurants, will be directed by the association. So prices will be reasonable, and any profits will defray operating expenses. The Marquette will be your home and your community. Your happiness and satisfaction are our business. We want to make this lifestyle an easy and affordable adventure. To join us, all you have to do is buy your condominium, pay your annual cruising expense, and leave the rest to the River Cities staff. It's just like living at home, but now home will be 10,000 miles of ever-changing views in dozens of memorable cities. A favorite restaurant in every town along the way. More than 3,000 golf courses within a short drive along our route. And an incalculable number of fishing spots and wildlife haunts.
Twilight to lock 13.
A model of our two-bedroom condo is already cruising the river, visiting planned ports of calls for our floating community. We are showing people the richly appointed, spacious living quarters and modern conveniences they can expect when they purchase a condominium. What will life be like for our residents? Imagine we are southbound on the upper Mississippi. We are traveling to Prairie du Chien today. We watch as eagles do their spiral dance in the sky. We've already spotted dozens of eagles. Further downriver, we see several pelicans crowding the beach. After a wonderful day full of wildlife watching and traversing 2 locks, we will dock near the Isle of Capri Casino at Prairie du Chien. After docking, many of our residents will go ashore and enjoy the annual Classic Carriage Festival's delightful sights. The townspeople are gracious hosts, thrilled that the Marquette stops for their festival. As we start the day, sunrise is a main event for some aboard. They get together for coffee each morning to watch from the rooftop lounge. To wake each morning to a new bend in the river, where every sunrise will be unique, is, after all, one of the benefits of the over 10,000-mile cruise route the Marquette calls home. Prior to the Marquette pushing off, some of our avid kayakers have headed out. They saw eagles and otters as they sliced through the thick carpet of duckweed in a nearby backwater. A large group of golfers is getting aboard the Marquette's bus for a ride to a local country club for a leisurely day on the links. After a day on the course, the bus will give them a ride to Dubuque, Iowa, where the Marquette will be stopping for the night. Several other residents have rented the Marquette cars and will be touring the northeastern corner of Iowa. Its beautiful, rolling countryside is well known by the residents, and they are out for a day of sightseeing before meeting the boat in Dubuque. Those that have decided to stay aboard for the cruise are having breakfast on the front deck. Large boats like the Marquette glide through the water quietly, and the view from the bow is a delightful experience. As the captain leaves the riverbank, he maneuvers past a towboat pushing 15 barges. All the River City's waterways are working rivers, and the traffic provides constant entertainment in the course of our journey. We will be traveling 56 miles today. Quite a large group is playing in a bridge tournament aboard the Marquette, while others are relaxing with a good book in a comfortable deck chair as they enjoy the passing scenery. With exercise, hobbies, and socializing, the residents have plenty of activities to fill the day while cruising. It's an interesting and fun group of people that are attracted to this lifestyle, so the community has a great time socializing and traveling together. The Marquette draws a crowd as she makes port along the beautiful Riverwalk in Dubuque. After all, she is the largest inland passenger vessel in the world. As our day travelers arrive back at the Marquette, the staff takes care of their cars as they settle back for an evening's dinner. Some of the golfers have gotten into the hot tubs to ease away the day's exercise, while others have decided on a simple night of watching TV or watching the local scene from their balcony. This day on the Mississippi illustrates the real beauty of the River City's lifestyle, because from the comfort of home, you set your schedule, and the pace of life can be as stimulating as you choose. Big cities, bays, lakes, Gulf waterways, casinos, and an overnight along a secluded riverbank are just a few of the many experiences that await the Marquette. Most communities pride themselves in their river landings. They are the front door for many river towns. When we dock at Nashville, the entertainment district is just a walk away. Every city's landing has a different look. Chattanooga's stepped bank is always ready for a music performance, and there are attractions just ashore, like the Tennessee Aquarium and IMAX Theater. In Louisville, you'll want to check out the park and the seafood restaurant. New Orleans from the river is legendary, with the French Quarter just blocks away. Pittsburgh's river views are mesmerizing by day and by night. The Gateway Arch greets you in St. Louis. And every 3 years, the Marquette will join Cincinnati for their Tall Stacks Riverboat Festival as they light up the night and celebrate the great traditions of the paddle boats of yesteryear. As the Marquette travels the country, we will encounter some of those marvelous paddle boats, like the Natchez in New Orleans, ocean-going vessels bound for the Gulf, casino boats, rowboats, and barges and towboats of all kinds and sizes. In fact, the 9 barges that you see in this picture will equal the footprint of the Marquette. Sometimes our footprint will be too large for the intracoastal waterways. Then the Marquette will separate and move as 2 independent vessels. When we stop for the night, our parts will reattach. The hurricane season along the Gulf Coast is June through November. Fortunately for the Marquette, when hurricane season arrives, we head north for the safe climate of the northern rivers. We have the mobility advantage that all the land-based property owners only dream of when a hurricane blows through. Springtime and autumn coincide with the Marquette's seasonal journeys as Mother Nature shows off her colors. The Marquette will have the best seat in the house as we enjoy the blossoms of springtime in our voyage northward, and the colors of autumn as we trek southward each year. Your comfort and safety are the priority for River City's staff as we cruise from port to port. The Marquette will have a helipad for fast evacuation in the event of a medical emergency. You will have all the comforts of home as the Marquette cruises the country. Our satellite dish will provide high-definition television, high-speed internet, and voice-over-IP telephone service. Only the mail service will be slightly delayed. If fishing or wildlife watching is your hobby, the Marquette is the place to be. The vessel will be equipped with 2 large pontoon boats and several smaller boats for residents to enjoy the water. Aboard the Marquette, you will see the rarely seen beauty of the bayous and backwaters. The Marquette will share the Mississippi Flyway with millions of migrating birds each season. Cruise ships on the ocean have a great view of the water, but after a day on the open ocean, that same vista just can't match the variety of our journeys. Nowhere is that variety more apparent than along the Gulf Coast, where we will cruise the 1,100 miles of intracoastal waterways. They were created during World War II as a way to protect U.S. shipping from submarine attacks. To this day, they are a vital waterway for shipping, and for this reason, the Corps of Engineers maintains them. Because they are so narrow, we will sometimes look into the yards of the local waterfront homes as we cruise by. Other times, the ocean will come into view. You'll get an interesting perspective of the Civil War as the Marquette cruises. The rivers and her towns were linked to many major battles of the war. You'll see the fishermen of the Gulf and their fleets of vessels, the oil rigs that fuel our country's engines, and the legendary home of Mark Twain. River Cities will offer 3 ownership options: full ownership, half ownership alternating every 6 months, and 2-month ownership. Buyers can choose from standard-size condominiums. In addition to these standard designs, there are also larger 2- and 3-bedroom condominiums available. Please see the next section on becoming an owner for all the details. Oftentimes, the joy of travel is a matter of proximity. What makes the opportunity of travel aboard the Marquette so special is the proximity to nature and the cities and towns you will call home. And home is the key here, because anyone can travel to these same places. The difference is that you will always have the comforts of your home just a walk away. May this series of sunsets be a reminder of the many incredible places you will experience aboard the Marquette. Mark Twain said, "Plan for the future, because that's where you're going to spend the rest of your life." Join us for the adventure of a lifetime.